Welcome back, football fans, to the Football Fan Zone. Barcelona have sacked manager Ronald Koeman. But is that going to really resolve Barcelona's issues? I mean, they've got a lot of debt. They've got players that have left in the summer, key players. And things in general at Barcelona Football Club have been on the down for a number of years, arguably. Let's discuss that here on the Football Fan Zone. So with Barcelona sacking Ronald Koeman after a 1-0 defeat yesterday in La Liga, left Barcelona currently mid-table in La Liga. They also lost, obviously, at the weekend to Real Madrid in the El Clasico, which doesn't really feel like the El Clasico of over the years. No Ronaldo, no Messi, etc. And the two teams seem like there's a massive gulf now between the two clubs and the two teams, and that's showing on the pitch. But Ronald Koeman, whilst it's clear that players haven't taken to Ronald Koeman's perhaps these training regimens, perhaps the way in which he wants to play tactically, etc., they just haven't embraced him as such. And perhaps unfairly. I'm not entirely sure on that yet, so I think more will come out over what life was like under Ronald Koeman. But I think it has to be noted that he has inherited a very difficult situation. Koeman has had to deal with many difficulties, including obviously the major financial situation that Barcelona are in. In fact, the Athletic reporting just a few weeks ago that Barcelona were technically bankrupt this year. That's according to Barcelona, Laporta, the president, who said that they were, to quote, technically bankrupt, according to the Athletic. The Athletic also say when we came into this in March, we found a club that was technically bankrupt. If it was a PLC, the club would have been dissolved. There was no cash flow. We had difficulties paying salary, debt and future liabilities amounted to 1.35 billion, and there was an urgent need for refinancing. Revit said it was imperative for the new administration restructure to restructure the club's debts, which was driving factor behind the decision to offer Lionel Messi a new and improved contract. Messi, the greatest player in the club's history, eventually departed on a free transfer to sign Paris Saint-Germain, which we all know about. So, like I said, Barcelona, whatever happens with Koeman, whoever comes in, they're going to inherit exactly the same problems. A team that's been depleted by its greatest ever player, one of the greatest ever players to grace the game in Messi, leaving for PSG. And bearing in mind, Messi was a key part, not of just of the team, but the club and the way in which the team was built, the culture within the club centred around Lionel Messi, and all of a sudden he's gone. That culture's now changed. You've got players there that are unsettled. They're unsettled because their futures keep being linked with moves away because their time at Barcelona has not been particularly successful. People like Coutinho, for example. And you've also got players that have had to take massive pay cuts. We're not talking about 5% here, 10%. Some of them have taken as much 60, 70% pay cuts. And when clubs have uncertainty within the club, not just with management, but for example, we have seen very good teams like Leeds United that got relegated a while ago. It was a while ago, but look at the team that went down then, the likes of Alan Smith, Mark Viduka, etc. I mean, Rio Ferdinand and so on. They had a brilliant team. They got relegated, and they got relegated because of all the problems surrounding Leeds' financial problems. Barcelona hanging around mid-table in the league at the moment is no surprise. It's no surprise to me because the finances have meant that you've got players who are there that are suffering from uncertainty. You've been depleted of the greatest ever player. Even players like Antonio Griezmann, while he hasn't been a major success there, it's still a big player to leave. It's still a big personality. It's still a proven goal scorer in La Liga. Gone. And this is why Barcelona is struggling. And it doesn't matter who Barcelona appoints. Whoever comes into Barcelona, whether it be Xavi, who's been linked and one of the favourites, or whoever, and even an experienced manager, it's not going to alter the problems. It's not going to change the fact that there are major difficulties that the club are going to have to face. even refinancing that debt, etc., the interest alone on that is going to be enormous, because the amount, just the sheer amount, means the interest is enormous, even on a low interest rate. And then, on top of all that, there is the risk, the uncertainty about whether Barcelona are going to be in next season's Champions League, because where they are in the league now, they could finish in the Champions League, but they may not. And it certainly looks at this moment in time, they're going to struggle to qualify for the next stages. A lot of Barcelona's revenue is based around their Champions League performance. It's why they've made the revenue over the years, because they're always winning or getting to the latter stages of the Champions League. They're not getting to the knockout stages, and then next year they might not be in it at all. That's going to massively impact their revenue. And for a club that needs the revenue to just pay off its debt, never mind increase its ability as a club to be able to compete and sign the best players in the world, which clearly it can no longer do, it struggled to sign players on a free. Sergio Aguero nearly walked. Ronaldo did walk. He went to PSG in the end. You know, again, whatever the club does, whoever it appoints, it's not going to make too much difference. There may be a materialistic upshift just because a new manager comes in, a new manager syndrome, as I call it. But ultimately, there is a lot wrong at Barcelona Football Club. So I thought I just wanted to address those things. I mean, I did mention on Facebook, and some were saying, oh, yeah, but they've just taken out a big loan to pay off the debt. If you are £1.5 billion in debt, and you borrow £1.5 billion to pay off that debt, you are still £1.5 billion in debt. You've just simply consolidated all the different debts into one payment. But even then, if you've done that, the interest on it's going to be ridiculous. And the risk on that, because of the uncertainty within the club, when you're losing your best players, the next couple of years are going to be really key, because a lot of Barcelona's revenue was down to sponsorship and commercial revenue, because you had players like Lionel Messi playing for Barcelona. They are gone. Griezmann is gone. You know, there are many. I mean, by the time next year comes, I think there's going to be other players that are going to be gone. Philippe Coutinho is probably going to be gone. Don't know what's going to happen with Dembele. It's clear Barcelona are focusing now on a new project, and that new project is obviously circled around Pedri, which I think is probably the right thing to do. But by no means is this going to be a quick fix. It's going to take several years, and throughout those several years of fixing the mess, Barcelona may need to accept that they may be a mid-table La Liga side for a few years while this process of changing everything comes to fruit. So, again, back to my original point, sacking Koeman, it clearly wasn't working one way or another, but by no means is that the end of the problem for Barcelona. Long pain awaits ahead. And it's going to be, it'll be a generation before they've even paid off the debt. A generation. Barcelona's ability to sign the world's best players and therefore compete for the world's best trophies, i.e. Champions League finals, etc., appears to be quite some way off, regardless of who the manager is. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I hope you've, why didn't you let me know what you think in the comments? Am I right? Are Barcelona going to have to endure the pain of a few weeks or a few years in the mid-table of La Liga? Are they going to qualify for the Champions League? I don't think they will. And how is Barcelona able to get in such a mess? What happens to financial fair play? How's financial fair play worked when a club has allowed to get so heavily in debt? Until next time, football fans, take care, and I'll see you all again soon.